You're such an asshole.
Now look, okay? We're all gonna get through this together, okay? Don't yell at me. I'm gonna try to move between screens and share a screen and play a TikTok and not get a copyright strike because I think it's TikTok, but you never know what the video. So I gotta go here. Now, hopefully, you're not seeing an email screen. Let me read the man's request. I know how you like the short version, so I'll get to the point. There's a lot of unemployed, educated, beautiful, young, fertile Gen Z and millennial women right now. What? 18 to 28-year-old unemployment rate is like 15% at the moment. There is a girl in this video linked below in Florida making $300 a week walking dogs. She could walk her husband's dog and stay home for probably $1,500 a week. So you're implying that he would pay her $1,500 a week to watch? That's a handsome wage. What is it, times 4? That's $6,000 a month. But she won't. Go to the 6-minute mark for the girl. And I'm going to continue reading. We're going to return to the girl, and hopefully this will all work. My topic for you to riff on is wealthy men don't need to hire women for office work because we have AI assistants now. That was the straw that broke the camel's back because there are many other issues behind unemployment and underemployment right now. The only thing successful men don't have is beautiful, thin women that will bring them peace. Let's say that. Stay backstage. Do sexual things. I'm cleaning it up a little bit. Cook and have children. We have housekeepers, nannies, and chefs, so we don't even need you to cook, clean, or be a decent mom. Ouch. No, you still need them to be a decent mom. Nannies are not moms. They're not. This is why I disagree with you guys generally. Like, I want to raise my own kid without a woman. No, kids need their moms, guys. Look at all the people who are raised on nannies or by their teachers, right? That's basically what percent have been raised by teachers? Well, half the kids are, the parents are divorced. All right. So then what percent are still married, but the parents just dropped their kids? We're talking 85% of the kids are raised by teachers. That's why you're all screwed up. Just hate to use this word. Just make babies. Look pretty and be quiet. Might have to censor me so you don't get. Well, I'm quoting you, and I disagree with you to a certain extent, but your point is made. Long version. With AI office agents and AI web browsers available daily, I see women being less valuable in the workplace and more negatively impacted than men. Well, there's actually research, research shows, studies suggest, doesn't prove. But the UN came out and said that, what was it? Women they estimate 3 times more likely to be susceptible to being replaced by AI than men, their professions, than men who can do manual labor tasks in warehouses and ditches and crawl spaces and towers. So the unemployment will only get worse. My prediction is that they will realize that domestication is here and feminism is over, much like the concept of retirement is over and unfeasible for the majority of the United States. So let's go to the video. All right. Don't screw this up, Cappy. I've queued it up. There were many commercials. I apologize if it starts with a commercial. I will try to get through. I'm going to pause it very regularly because you can't have copyright. Have a conversation. This is not the girl. Let's play this.
Onwards we go.
About a year ago, I posted a video saying, I don't know if I'm ever going to find a job again because I had been looking for so long and no one had given me anything.
So I'm going to stop right now. Just so you guys know, in defense of women, I don't believe for a second that these TikTok girls are authentic, real, honest, and true. There may be 80% truth, but I'm very, in other words, your real women in the real world are not as bad and dumb as these girls are making themselves out to be on TikTok. I'm a very big believer that a lot of this is kayfabe theater, professional wrestling. It's fake. I always like to look at their cars. Some of it might be true, but I'm more lean towards that. So what this woman is about to do, perhaps she doesn't care, is make women look bad unfairly. She might be an idiot. This could all be made up. But in intellectual honesty, you should try to remember These women are ulteriorly motivated for clicks, attention, and and they might just create fake drama and bullshit, right? Like Yana Hawking, look her up. So I'm questioning this, but we'll continue on.
This is what has happened since I posted that video. 2 months after I posted that video, I got a job offer. 20 hours a week, $16 an hour.
Because you have no skill. If I'm to take you seriously, lady, it's because you have no skills. I'm sure if you were a surgeon, you wouldn't have these problems. But we're going to go through all these shit jobs that she's about to go through, and she's going to cite her education, which is worthless. But I'll summarize and answer early because this isn't like a new line of thought, and this is very common. You have no skills. You are, in terms of economics, a worthless person. All these jobs she's about to mention, a 14-year-old could do because you are an economically worthless person.
5 months after I started that job, the entire company shut down.
Yep, that happens. Yep. Dude. That's not Trump's fault. That's just how the economy works.
2 months after that company shuts down, I get another job. I'm a dog walker.
I know kids that could be dog walkers. It's a job, yeah. Tell me you have no skills without telling me you have no skills.
The most they can give me is about $300 of work
Would you like to be paid 6 figures to walk dogs?
per week. So I get another job. I am a petition circulator.
Okay, so again, what is that? $8? Let me help out the young women out there. Ladies, do you want to be in this situation? I know this isn't the topic of conversation, but to show that I actually truly am on the side of women here, do you want, who do you think is more likely that they're going to have to work at a truck stop, if you know what I'm saying? This gal or a gal that majored in accounting or engineering? This is where the Democrats are not your friends. Your teachers are not your friends. Your politicians are not your friends. Your professors are not your friends. They're just taking your money, going into debt. And do you want to live like this? Do you want to have that nasty fucking thing around your steering wheel? Lord knows what kind of gross stuff is in there and how much cat and dog fur and how much garbage is in her backseat. Do you girls want to become this?
I work 40 hours a week, $19 an hour. I'm great at it.
You're great at it. Great at petitioning. You're to the client. You're right. These are, oh my God, I just love walking around with a piece of paper and having people sign it. I'm so good at it. Like, no, you do need to be replaced by AI. These are worthless fucking jobs. These are this is an embarrassment.
This is amazing. I'm finally making a decent amount of money, and the Florida government passes a law that all but bans petition circulating.
Maybe people get sick and tired of you political assholes ruining our lives. You're right, sir. The investment dude bros, right? Your finance bros. I'm a business major. I'm in sales and marketing, bro. All you people, whether it's the leftist, worthless, make work welfare jobs program disproportionately for women, or you fucking low IQ TPS report filing business major dude bros. You guys are worthless. You have no skills or talents. You're giving this woman any little bit of credit and authenticity and credibility. Let's say she's honest. How dumb are you to think that with no skills or talents that you're going to have some kind of stable job? And is that what the teachers are really, is that what professors are teaching you guys? That you need no skills or abilities and that somehow the world should just bend to your will and provide you stable and a worthless person, stable living wage employment? I'm all for a living wage, right? Don't offer a job if people can't live off of it. I don't know why you people would take a job if you can't live off it, because you can't live off of it. Different philosophical discussion. But when you walk up to an employer like, I got a degree in being an insufferable leftist bitch studies, I'm going to sue you and whine and complain. Yeah. You're getting closer and closer to that truck stop.
So now I am back to dog walking, which again pays about $300 a week. I have a bachelor's degree. I have
In
4 years of experience in mental health.
no, working with homeless people and nonprofits and like, would you like more? That's not. And psychology itself as an industry like that's awfully sus right now.
10 years of experience in childcare. I've experienced
10 watching over other people's kid. 10 years. Wait. So maybe if you lost a little weight and then you married a rich guy or a good looking guy or a guy that you'd like to marry, and maybe you had kids, then maybe you could stay at home and take care of the kids. You got 10 years experience raising some typical, right? Typical Western people. I have so many years experience raising other people's kids because they didn't want to raise them. Just an idea, ladies, and just it's an option. I'm not saying this is the way to go. Have you thought about raising your own kids instead of working jobs, raising other women's kids to pay other women to raise your kids? Right? It's a brilliant job the Democrats, the leftists have done taxing motherhood. They've made it so that you have so much taxes to pay for Democrat programs predominantly that women have to work. Well, now we got to outsource our children. And I don't think this was by design. But now, yeah, you need a 2-income household. Both people have to work. And so, but then you girls have kids, which, yeah, you should if you want. Yeah. Okay. Of course, naturally. But we can't raise them. We have to pay somebody else too. So now you got to work and they tax that. And then you pay someone to raise your kids. And guess what? They tax that. Congratulate you, double taxed motherhood. Dude, mark my words, the historian's going to look back and say they were the most fucked up generation of Americans ever. Like, look at these people. Look, I'm talking Americans all right now. Could you believe they outsourced their kids and then they got taxed paying other people to raise their kids? Like, yeah, and they didn't. And then they voted to have like a third of their money. Well, no, a quarter of their money to raise people that they didn't know, to feed people that hated them. And they actually thought that they could get by with degrees in butt plug studies. Oh, look at this list of degrees this university offered.
In higher education, aquatics, food service. When I was in high school, I tutored refugees.
Okay, see, here's did she really, or is this agitprop, right? No joke. It probably is TikTok. Is China telling her to say that? Like, it's beyond the pale, right? They're trying to, are you agitated? It's agitprop. That's why I don't really believe these TikTok girls that much. And why ladies, you better go start defending your reputation here. Because this gal's representing you, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with her or not.
In English, and I speak French. And I
for that booming French economy.
do not believe that there is any job that I am above. I'm telling you, I got rejected by Taco Bell and Sam's Club.
I'm going to say it again, because you're worthless economically, not as a human being. I mean, you're not. You can work an $8 to $12 an hour job. Yes. See, the smart kids didn't go to college. They just started working.
Where are my bootstraps? Because I would love to pull myself up by.
See, and that's another one where I think this is fake. Where are my bootstraps? Like the standard, like, buzzword.
This morning.
Okay. So there that was. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to close it out. That guy looks like a winner. Look at that guy. All right. So let's go to this guy's thing. Long version. With AI Office H's and AI web browsers available daily, I see women being less valuable in the workplace and more negatively impacted than men who could do manual labor tasks in warehouses, ditch cross, blah, blah, blah. So the unemployment will only get worse. My prediction is that they will realize that domestication is here and feminism is over, much like the concept of retirement is over and unfeasible in the majority of the United States. All right, let me pull up the notey notes if I got them. I got so many different notes. So here it is. All right, so your main question is AI going to come in and wipe out so much of women's employment because of its nature? And a lot of it isn't necessarily like even lazy or no math or low math, lack of rigor. Like AI is disproportionately affecting computer programmers, low-end programmers. So it's not just affecting welfare jobs programs or business majors types of fields. Uh, it's going into other fields as well. So the point I'm trying to make with that is, you're, I don't know, a surgeon and a woman, it's not going to affect it, but it's going to disproportionately affect female dominated fields in industry. And you think, oh, is the unemployment going to be so much that women are going to go back to, I hate the word domestication, but for lack of a better word, sure, the nuclear family, let's call it. Do you think women are going to go back? And it's not a yes, no, on off switch. It is a spectrum because there are 160 million American women. Not all are working age, of course. And the answer is going to be yes and no, depending on the person. It's going to be a scale. However, for a couple reasons, I'm going to say no, not in any tangible, measurable way. One, I think other things are affecting disproportionately women's fields more than AI. Right now, I think simply cutting all the nonprofit welfare spending for make work government jobs like US aid and all that, that's having more of a direct effect on women. I think the higher interest rates through corporate America, where corporations don't get borderline free money, and now we got to actually kind of make a profit. I think that is having them go in and say, we need to get rid of the worthless jobs. What can we get rid of? So you're looking at your marketing. Of course, men are in these fields too. Definitely HR and things like that. I think the current fad of white man bad, you go like the girl boss era is over. The leftist woke using leftist politics as your main marketing infrastructure. Let's advertise to the kids because they've been all brought up to be Democrats. Like, hey, kids, Democrats. Oh my God, socialism. Oh, white men suck, don't they? Oh my God. Environmental, whatever, right? Organic coffee, fair trade, right? All the buzzwords. I think with higher interest rates, that's going away. And so disproportionately, again, you're going to, not have as many Karens or HR, DEI officers and things like that. And I think that is affecting it more than AI as we speak right now. Things might change in the future. So and those aren't, well, let's go look at the data. Let's look at female, young ladies, young women. No, I got to think Fred database here. I don't think female labor force participation rate of young women is going down that much. It's going to go down. It's been trending down, but there are other more powerful economic factors having effect on that than AI. So let's just look up women labor force participation rate, Fred database. I should have looked this up before. I want to look up young labor force participation, 20 years and older. There's total. Is there a 16? No, there isn't. I'm sure there is, but I don't see it anywhere immediate. Let's just pull up women's labor force participation rate. No, it's actually, since the disease, it's been going up. This past year, it has gone down. It's gone down 57. Yeah, it's gone down 0.5%, but that's within normal variability of the ebbs and flows of the economy. I don't see a tremendous drop in labor force participation rate from women. So I'm also then led to believe AI is not having that much of an effect right now. If anything, what really does have, if some's going to drive women to the truck stop or the kitchen, both are bad in the world of women. It's going to be the worthless degrees. It's the debt that they accrue with worthless. Ladies, if you want to be strong, independent women, you actually want to be a feminist, you want to not be subservient or rely on a man, you need to start majoring in engineering, accounting, the trades, real shit. Okay. I'm trying to help you. If that's what you want, I understand wanting to be financially independent. You're going to be financially dependent on the stripper pole, OnlyFans, the truck stop, or a man with a liberal arts degree or social science degree. There it is. Trying to help you out. As if you were my daughters, I want you off the stripper pole, okay? But I don't see, the numbers aren't showing a more than normal drop in the labor force participation rate with women. And with all those other variables, I don't think AI is that big of a factor now. Another reason why I don't think AI is going to domesticate women is if you go back to the Great Recession, right? Okay, millennials and Zoomers weren't even probably around all that much, but it was a much harsher recession back then. And I remember a couple female friends through conversation just saying, yeah, I was thinking about, in short, resorting to pulling tricks. They put it more tactfully and polite. And then a couple, I'd be like, well, I'm okay with that. You want to go? Oh, no, well, no, I would. I'm like, well, why don't you open your mouth? I thought you were, I thought we know each other. It's safe. Yeah, sure. Come on over. Yeah. Oh, no, you're just saying words that mean nothing. Random words. Okay. But there were even articles, if I recall, you could probably look them up, where women were contemplating going to the metaphorical truck stop and resorting to such things. That was a way worse recession, both men and women. Men, especially because it affected real estate, obviously home construction. Men kind of took a disproportionate hit in that one, but women were being laid off too. Did feminism go away? Did we see? Okay. So let's hang on. Let's do a little math, shall we? How about we math a little bit? What is the average birth year of millennial? Okay. 82, 80, 94, 87, 89, 90, 80, 88. Shall we go with 88 is the average birth year of a millennial? So let me do my mathy math, which is better than regular math because it's more mathy. The Great Recession was 2000. When it starts, 7. I guess it went to 2000. Let's say 2007 minus 1988. The average millennial was 19 years old, right? Follow me in on this. The worst economy we've had since the Volcker recession was the Great Recession, the housing crash, the financial crash of 2007, say 2010. 2007, the average millennial at that time was, what'd I do with my math? Oh, the math went away. I closed. I think it was 19, not even 20 years old. So your average millennial was not in the marriage market, right? They were in college, just starting college, maybe come out of it, maybe still a little bit in high school, right? But they were in college, younger college years. They couldn't drink. Did and then as time went on and the economy was bad, did droves of millennial women say, fuck this shit, I'm going to become June Cleaver? What did the millennial women go the June Cleaver route or the strong, independent girl boss thing in a mini route? Which way did they go, right? And so that's another data point where I was thinking about, I'm like, yeah, we have kind of a track record here, one instance where there were way worse economic times than what we got now. And did that drive women back into traditionalism or the nuclear family? No, if anything, it kicked it up a notch. Maybe the economy didn't kick it up a notch, but millennial women were not affected. Their decision to be traditional or double down, go be feminist girl boss, that was not affected by how bad the economy was. And so, I don't think AI is going to drive women into the arms of Ward Cleaver, and you're going to have your white picket fence with a house and 2.1 kids. And then finally, this has just been, when I did, I have it linked below, and if you want, you can look at the economic research and data. but I wrote a book called A World Without Men. I said, what would happen if we removed men from the economy and it was just an all-female economy? What would it look like? Well, it would look like a barren wasteland. It would be absolute shit. I'm not going to go into why or anything. That's just what it is, because men do most of the infrastructure. That's the short, very, very, very short version. But in doing that research, fuck, I lost my train of thought. It became very apparent to me, combined with the World Without Men, that book, combined with the research that I saw in my book before that one, called The Book of Numbers Analyzing the RI in the Pursuit of Women. If you look at women's choices in terms of how much they pursue men, how much they go out with men, and I've said this before, and I've even when I was editing Myron's book, I helped them edit it and structure it a little bit, and even doing the data and the research for that, which was more modern than my book. I'm very convinced women do not like men that much. Now, if you get the right guy, yes, they'll move heaven and earth. But in general, we're talking entire economies a year. Women really don't like you that much. They don't hate you, although some do. Hang on, what happened here? They're really not that interested. And whereas one might say feminism was this communist thing from the 60s and yeah, sure, there might be some elements of that. I think for most women, it really is true that they would rather be free than be with a man they don't truly love or like even. I really believe women and feminists when they say liberated, because again, let's think independently, go back to the olden days, they needed men to survive, right? Juxtapose that with dating data that says women are not attracted to 80% of men, or some might say 90%, depending on what measures you want to use. So if we assume these numbers are true, there was a lot of women back in the day that had to be with men they were not attracted to and did not like, and were more or less beholden to them. That's why when women say we are liberated from men, that means they didn't need a man to live anymore. Or yes, that's what it is. We are liberated from men. We don't need a man's paycheck to live anymore. And I do believe they are honest about the use of that word and the intention of that word. And so when you say, okay, if AI replaces these women's jobs, are they going to come back to men now finally? No. No, because it's not a powerful enough force. The pain that young lady is going through, let's say her job was wiped out by AI. I'm going to bet you 99% chance if you went up to say, okay, you could keep living the life you got now, or you can settle for Mortimer Snurd, who you're not going to be terribly attracted to, and maybe your personalities aren't going to line up till death you part. She will rather take the dog walking and the piss shit jobs and the complaining and her gross car before she settles down with a guy. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what it is. That's nature. These women are not that attractive to the average man. And there's going to have to be a tremendous amount of economic pain to the point it threatens their lives that they would say, okay, it's either this guy or dying. And we are nowhere near that stage. Nowhere near it, because there's so many other things they can do, right? Before women are putting on the pearl necklace and the nice dress and being thin and treating their man nice and raising the kids, and there are so many other off ramps to this highway the girls are going to take before they get to doing something that they ultimately don't want to do. And that's I'm not judging it. Ladies, it's your life. You do. I'm almost one of the few people that understands it, where it's like, yeah, I get it. You don't like guys that much. I understand. Wrong in some ways, but like, no, this is your life. You can't. So all these things they're going to do before, all these off ramps they could take before they get to the very last thing they want to do are numerous. They can live at home. They can do what this girl's doing, working multiple crap jobs. I mean, I did that back when I was younger. They can, they could go to school for a real degree. I mean, they really hate that. They really do. I mean, go look at the numbers. Like the 85% of women are majoring in dumb shit. 60% of men major in dumb shit. So it's not like, oh my God, we're all engineers. But if you gave a girl a choice, learn math and do engineering or go marry this guy you don't like, they're going to choose engineering, right? They will, as it's been proven made before, they'll do digital strip poll, OnlyFans, whatever else. They will go into debt, right? And then default on bankruptcy, credit card debt, though that's all, it's not a fun path. They will, I'm trying to think what else. They'll live at home, they'll cut their expenses. What was the other one? Oh, there's white collar work still. They'll go find some white collar work. Some might join the trades. All right. Oh, and then finally, I'm sorry, you're not going to see the 50s return until the welfare state is gone. Because let's say women try every other option. They cut their expenses. They live at home. They do OnlyFans. They work a bunch of jobs. They go to school for accounting, whatever else. At the end of the day, let's say that all fails. You know what they can do? They got the welfare state. I mean, it won't be living in luxury, but at least it won't be living with a guy, married to a guy, having sex with a guy they ultimately don't like. I mean, when you guys like, here's your choice. You can live in government welfare squalor, right? You're just getting by. Here's your EBT card and all that. We'll pay for your kids. Or you got to sleep with this fat chick that you don't like and raise her kids. Like, from you put it that way, you can kind of understand. And unfortunately, unless it isn't, and that's why I talked about a world without men, unless it is an absolutely crippling economy where the welfare state is not there anymore, where there probably aren't cops or law anymore, where there isn't clean water. I mean, we are talking a very destitute situation. You are not going to see, as long as the lights are on, and especially as long as the welfare state is on, the welfare state, a government check is always preferable to a guy they're not interested in. That makes sense? And so they'll complain. And as a scale, yes, if economic times got bad, and they got student loan debts, maybe they'll go with not Subscribe Star. What the hell is the seeking arrangement? But it's not arrangement anymore because you got to protect the feelings. Say, no, this is an empowering web. They're going to go seeking their sugar baby, sugar daddy things, sites. There are a lot of things they're going to do before they go put on that 50s dress and be June Cleaver and settle for most guys. And so AI can wipe out all their worthless jobs. I think there are other things wiping out these jobs: interest rates, budget cuts, zeitgeist. But let's say they're wiped out. Yeah, there's a lot. They got a lot of other options they'll do before they, quote, submit and domesticate and make a guy happy and raise the kids. And I'd flip it around. How much more proof? I mean, how many decades have we had it here where they've mocked and ridiculed and derided Leave It to Beaver, right? How you can say, well, that's propaganda and feminism, right? Okay, but man, it's a pretty consistent message, right? Do you have women throwing themselves at you, right? Well, women really deep down inside really like men. They're just playing hard to get. Well, they're playing hard to get pretty damn good. And for a really long, many generations of women have played hard to get and never had anyone get them. I don't know I don't know if there is a more universal, comprehensive group behavior giving you a clear answer as to whether or not they're interested in you or not than women, Western women in particular, have been for the past, let's call it 60 years. Like divorce, getting overweight, tattoos. You guys ask them out. They shoot you down all the time. They say yes. They still stand you up. I mean, again, I even did a video. What would it look like if women liked men as much as men liked women? Well, we'd overpopulate and outbreed our food supply. But We wouldn't have this conversation if girls liked men as much as men liked women. And so based on the data, whether you want to read Myron Gaines's book, you want to read the Book of Numbers, or you just want to look out there and look out your window and say, you know what? I don't see a lot of women in dresses and da-da-da. They don't need you anymore. And their actions and behaviors, and I'd say even the words are telling you accurately how much interest they have in you is. And it's not a lot. And it's going to take more than AI and Trump's budget cuts to wipe out, say, 30% of women's make work government jobs or nonprofit jobs or whatever before they're like, oh, dang, we better, some might be more destitute than others. Sure. Some might have a drug addiction problem. Like look at the gal who's so desperate she ended up not sleeping with, but staying with the great one because of free lodging. I mean, the desperate women, yeah, sure. But generally, no. AI is not going to domesticate women. Tariffs are not going to domesticate women. Budget cuts are not going to domesticate women. Because deep down inside, at the end of the day, they really don't want. The only thing that would is where men and women actually need each other again, or more so women need men for their survival because we're protecting them from the elements and assault and murderers and all that. We are nowhere near that. So nowhere near that. And so, yeah, I mean, it's going to make it harder. I mean, here's another thing that affects women more than I would say AI, but as men as well. Outsourcing jobs overseas, that's affecting women disproportionately to men and men as well. Although outsourcing our entire industrial capacity to China, that probably hurt men a little bit more than women at that time. But yeah, you let me know. How about this? Here's, oh, I found it. Yes, I remember looking this up. Here, I looked it up. You know how you'll tell AI or any general macroeconomic technological things are affecting, like women are coming back? Let me pull it up here. When this chart reverses, can you see that? That's young women's obesity, 18 to 44, body mass index of 30 or higher. So I think that's overweight. No, that's obese. That's going up, and that's 2022. When that starts going down, when women put on dresses and start acting feminine because they want to attract men, then you'll know that, oh, something happened in the economy, that women are trending towards perhaps a more traditional and domestic lifestyle. In the meantime, looking at labor force participation rates, looking at obesity rates, I see no indication of that. None. And the only time I've seen something approaching that was in the depths of the Great Recession, 2007, 2008. And that had no bearing on young women's life choices as to whether or not they would go in and work or they be stay-at-home wife, more tradition. I saw no, if anything, it was the opposite. So no, AI will not domesticate women. The welfare state inevitably will when it bankrupts everybody and people aren't working anymore and there's no food and then we can't pay the taxes because there's no electricity and then the cops don't show up. Talk to me then. I think women will be very interested in whether or not you have a gun. Women will be when it comes to that, women will become very pro-gun very quickly. Very quickly. But I hope I hope I'm dead by that time. All right, link below are those two books, The Book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI and the Pursuit of Women. Please look at that so you guys understand. And I also want you to understand that this is not wrong of women. This is how they are. This is how they're programmed. They're just not that interested. I don't say that to be sad. I don't say it to be, well, women they're being poopy heads. No, they really don't like guys that much. And it's not that they control that. I mean, again, if you're that one guy, yeah, they really like, but generally, no, and maybe stop bothering them. Not that you guys would. So the Book of Numbers analyzing ROI and the Pursuit of Women and a World Without Men. See what happens. The scenarios I paint in that book is what will have to happen before women are like, oh, hey, you have a house? Can I come in? You got other men's kids? Yeah? No, you can't come in. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Woo! Hat and clogs, $2. Cappy, do meditation. Who hurt you? Just relax, man. Hey, Chris Serdak, $5. Daughter's first high school football game this week. I thought baseball game. Daughter's first high school football game. Is she playing football? Senior players all got introduced. 75% were going into trades after graduation. Nate, awesome. That is awesome, Chris. That's great. You young boys, if you're going the way we think you're going, if you Gen Alpha boys are going the way we think you're going to have a hell of a lot better lives than we did. Hell of a lot better. Ladies and gentlemen, everything I said can be thrown out the window now. I am but a mere 140 IQ person. I'm just a normie conforming inferior. But then there are people who know everything. Perhaps God himself taking form of none other than Professor Fuckwitz, PhD. Professor Fuckwitz, we are eternally grateful for you always setting us straight here at the Cappy Cap World. Cappy, Bloomberg reports women are doing extra hours around the house and divorced women sleep more than married ones. Clearly, men need to do more. I'll throw in actual research too, although you're probably saying real research. And again, studies show, research suggests. If you don't believe, look, you guys want to believe women like you. And there's one girl, okay, I get it. As your genetic speaking, go look at polling data on who wants to get married 50 years and older. Like you got gray divorce, right? Or older single people. Guys, the majority of, you think, oh, women hit the wall and they're desperate for men. No, once they hit menopause, they are not interested in men. Older men want to get married. I think at 2 to 3, it's a multiple. It's more than 1.2. It's like 2 or higher times more than women want to get married then. Guys, the women just don't like you that much. They really don't. Incorporate it into your strategy. And the only strategy to get the girls is, there's a couple, but you become what they want. You got to become a top dog dude, okay? Working hard, or go overseas where tradition still holds and women still need men to survive. Or you just say, nah, I don't have time to go to the gym that much, and I don't want to, and I'd rather go pursue other non-sexual interests. That's fine. But you guys got to realize there's not the situation does not exist where an average normal guy, Plumber Bob, who drives his 2013 Ford truck, gets what his grandfather got 2 generations ago. It doesn't happen. Burbshide, 5 Australian. Women start a nuclear family with their fur babies before being a housewife. No, even before that. They start their nuclear family by paying for some rando on welfare to have children that aren't hers. That's her first family. When they start working, that's their first family. Then they get fur babies and other surrogates. Women's first family is the welfare family they vote for and pay for with all of our taxes, including their own. With the fur babies before being a housewife. Men got to keep goon maxing and rizzing their chat GPT girlfriends. Okay, I don't know what I thought I knew what gooning was, but apparently I don't. Look, guys, let's make some progress, right? Let's help out both men and women here. Guys, don't be like the previous 2, if not 3 generations of men, if you include baby boomers, pulling the teeth of people who don't want to do something, right? Just stop pulling women's teeth to get them to go out with you. They either will or they won't, right? Do the best you can. Be charming and flirty. Ask a girl out if you see her. But at the end of the day, I mean, really, it's the ping pong. You hit the ball over to them. If they don't hit it back, you're out. Don't get into the nightmare that generations of men before, oh, maybe if I did this or maybe if I did that. No, they're just not that interested. And you wait for the girl to hit the ping pong ball back, right? And what that does is it alleviates you of a lot of work and worry and concern on the men's part. And then it also stops bothering women, right? You girls are sick and tired of having all these messages in your inbox. You don't like guys coming up and talking. Maybe you do. I don't know if it's the right guy. Sure, of course. But if you're just like a normal guy, right, ladies, I think you want the attractive men to ask you out. You don't want the ugly ones, right? So until you're very good looking men and you got the best, you got something going on, it just leave these girls alone, right? Again, it's junk mail. Don't fill these girls' mailbox with junk mail unless you got a real offer. And then you got a girl that's kind of on, oh, maybe I want to get a window treatment. I'm not sure. Well, don't do the hard sell. Like, oh, okay, well, here's my number. If you need a window treatment, let me know. At Bob's Window Treatment. But yeah, guy, and you don't have time. And in a relationship where you have to pull teeth, no, she's either there, let's go. I want to be, let's do it. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's time to say, let's save everybody some headaches going forward. How's that sound? Professor Fuckwitz is giving us more wisdom here. $5. Bloomberg reports mothers are working in the house too much, impacting promotions. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible what we're doing to women. Men need to do more chores and emotional labor like birthday cards. Yes, it's true. Let's just, Professor Fuckwitz, these are just treating the symptom, though. I would like to get to much more concrete, finalized solutions. Let's just have men cut their dicks off and put a collar around their neck, and then we'll have a brain implant with the microchip, and the women will make man-bot, and then the husbands will do everything right. We don't have time for convincing men, and we just need to cut their dicks off, put in a microchip, and make them the perfect men. Plains Warrior, $5. Remember the show Girls Gone Wild? What do you think those girls are doing now? Box wine in Catland? I don't know. That was how long ago? I mean, I guess they're my age now. Maybe some got married, right? If you're out there on spring break, whatever, a lot of them probably wouldn't. Got married, had kids. Well, they're divorced. They're regular old 40-something women. They got their dad. Some of them got cats. Some of them got a car loan. Some got an ex-husband. Some still got the husband. Most of them don't like the husband they got. They got kids. The kids are going to go to stupid school. Oh, how are we going to pay for it? I don't know. That's fucking Normieville. That's what normies got to deal with. That's not my problem. You'll shoot your eye out, Frank. 5 Canadian. We build statues in honor of Cappy. Then we can finally make him tall. It's the only way I'm ever going to be over 6 feet tall. Judd Grover. Hey, Judd, how you doing? $5. Greetings, Cappy. I can't find your Cappy's Crappy Computers video. I wrote it down. I lost it. Can you tell me their website contact information? Wow, how long ago was this? Hang on. Not now. Nope, that's not it. I have a buddy who puts together used computers, but I don't think he's doing it now because he's got a kid. Judd, why don't you email me? Can you email me? I'll put you in contact with my buddy, but depending on the type of computer, chances are you could find something cheaper to be delivered because it's going to come out of the Twin Cities. Plus, he's got to pay for like mail and delivery and all that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Mark Magana, $5. It's college-educated women that will turn to escorting before becoming a housewife, conditioned to believe it's slavery that they're that. I don't know. We got any proof on? Not to question you, Mark, but what is going to college do? I know it makes them more leftist, but I don't think that changes their biology. I don't think just because you went to college, you like men any less, or you are less physically attracted to men. I think this is hardwired. I think, well, you see it. You see it in the animal kingdom. Perhaps college educated women have a more philosophical or an added philosophical reason to man bad, stay away from man. But you're still pulling teeth, the majority of gals. Right Rider, $2. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Right Rider, again, $2. Anybody can claim to be a victim, and most do. Yeah, well, Democrats made it profitable. Bob, $5. Do men really want a serious relationship with women who are not into them? Well, yes, exactly. Thank you, Bob. Most men will settle for that because pussy. But man, you get older. Dude, I did a lot of stuff for pussy when I was younger. Not now. The fuck out of my house. Here's some duct tape. Put it around your mouth. Please be quiet. God almighty, please don't tell me about what you think is fun or interesting or intelligent right now. Just please be quiet. No, you want the girl that's like, what are we doing today? You know, you want that excited dog. You want, oh my God, I love you. I mean, it happens. It happens. But yeah, I'm not negotiating or tolerating shit. Most XY better off with the lady of the night, have some self-respect. Yes, and I think that's where most men and women are being honest with themselves. Women generally, outside of personality, what do women generally want out of men? Well, they want resources. What do men want out of women? They want sex. Sure, love, but like I said, outside of love and relationship and children, outside, what is it? Right. The girls go make the money. They could pay rent. The guys get off and they could go out and produce more. Basic level of sexual economics. That works in the majority of time. But yeah, here's another way you could tell if AI is domesticating women. What's happening to ladies of the evening rates? Right now, I don't have the chart up or anything like that, but I was kind of surprised how things expensive got in Pahrump. I thought it was like 500, 600, but like, nope, dude, it's 2,000. Well, that might be more due to Vegas just charging more money in general. I'm sure some economist out there has an index on tricks. James, $10. Any thoughts on the 1975 movie, the corporate dystopian movie Rollerball with James Caan and John Houseman? No, I've never seen it. I'm imagining it's like Death Race 2000, which I did see, but I've never seen Rollerball. So I apologize. We won't be able to talk about it. Donald J. DeMarco, $5. Unrelated, but thanks for the IQ test reference. Yeah, that's queendom.com. There's an online IQ test called queendom.com, and you should subtract about 8 points from your score to have it more in line with the traditional IQ test because it overestimates. However, if you use the standard deviation scores from the like if you use the Queendom data, that is your actual score then, if you use standard deviation and the IQ average from Queendom. It's just when you want to compare it to a real IQ test, you got to subtract about 8. If this online test is a decent, 133. Yeah, so subtract 3, so you're the 123 area. Yeah, you're really smart. Knight Rider, $2. Claiming victimhood changes nothing. No, it actually changes. It makes you an asshole. It makes you a liability. It makes you somebody people don't want to hang out with. It makes you a parasite. It makes you a damaging factor to anyone in your life. You are a negative value person. And why would anyone want to hang out with someone who's a constant victim? Like, even if you were a real victim, right? Oh, we better help this person out, right? This person broke their leg, fell off. Oh, let's get in here and help them out and get the ambulance. That I understand. But when I'm a victim of circumstances and everyone's out to get, sucks to be, I am not hanging out with you. You whine. Who wants to hang out with a whiner, right? That's it. Who likes to hang out with people who whine? No one. Yep, sucks to. Oh man, you're female. So hard being female in the United States. I know, with all the scholarships and legal discrimination in your favor and everyone praising you and you're just amazing. It's so hard. All right, there you go. Link below. The book of numbers analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women, and A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. Yeah, both men and women read it. See, you'll see what happens. You'll see what happens when the sexes want nothing to do with each other. It'll be good times. Good times. Girls will be doing this at the truck stop. All right, see you guys later, Toodles.